Pranams to all the blessed beings. We will continue our journey understanding the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. We are now at the 6th shloka of Samadhipada. Now, in the first 5 shlokas, we have understood the definition of yoga, and then we have understood what happens when yoga state is achieved. We have also understood how the mind has fluctuations in its activities. Now the 6th shloka describes the number of vrittis or the fluctuations or the categories of activities of mind. In the 5th shloka we have seen that there are 5 kinds of activities of the mind. Vrittayaha, Panchatayaha, Klishta, Klishta. And that those 5 categories of activities of mind are either painful or non-painful. Now the 6th shloka describes these 5 kinds of activities of the mind. 6th shloka says, Pramana viparyaya vikalpa nidra smritayaha. So it is describing the categories of the activities of the mind. First is pramana, second is viparyaya, third is vikalpa, fourth is nidra, and the 5th is smriti. Now what are these and what do they mean? Pramana is true knowledge or right knowledge. Viparyaya is false knowledge. Vikalpa or kalpana is imagination. Nidra is the activities of the mind during sleep, and smriti is memory. We will try and understand each one of these in today's discussion. Pramana, when we say, it is right knowledge. Now this right knowledge has 3 sources, and those 3 sources are explained in the 7th shloka. It says, Pratyakshanumanagamah pramanani. So there are 3 sources of pramana or right knowledge, and they are pratyaksha or direct perception, anumana or indirect perception, and agama, that is those which are authorities on that particular subject. Now what is pratyaksha pramana or right knowledge that is obtained by direct perception? This is something that you experience directly through your own body and mind, and hence that becomes the right experience for you, giving you the right knowledge. For example, I touch something hot, or I put my hand on fire and it burns. So fire intrinsically has the quality to burn my hand, is something which I have personally experienced, and that becomes the source of right knowledge about fire to me. That is called as pratyaksha pramana. Coming to the second or anumana pramana. Now what is anumana? See, in anumana there are 3 different aspects. One is the effect that is seen by us. The second is the cause of that effect which we conclude, and the third is the illustrations or the examples or our past experiences which help us conclude about the cause of the effect that we have seen. What do I mean when I speak in this manner? Now, there is smoke bellowing from the top of the hill. That is the effect that I am seeing. Now, I consider that there is fire on the top of the hill. That is the conclusion about the cause of that smoke that I come. And I come to this conclusion through drishtanta or illustration or a known example where I have seen that smoke billows out of the kitchen when the firewood is burnt to cook food in the kitchen. So when there is an effect, human mind, through illustrations or experiences in the past which are similar, concludes about the cause of that. The effect is called as prajna. The cause is called as hetu, and the illustration or the example is called as drishtanta. So through this we come to a conclusion about the right knowledge on that particular subject. And the third source of right knowledge is agama, or the authorities. These agamas can be the books which are written by authorities on that subject, or it can be seers or saints or rishis or living authorities on that particular subject. So this is how we always have right knowledge coming to us. Now the second category of activity of the mind is viparyaya, and this viparyaya is defined in the 8th shloka as viparyayo mithya jnanam atadrupa pratishtham. So what is viparyaya? It is mithya jnana. Mithya is false, jnana is knowledge. So mithya jnana, viparyaya is false knowledge. Atadrupa pratishtham, which appears as what it actually is not. It is false knowledge, but it appears as true knowledge to us. The famous example that one is seen learning about viparyaya is about the Raju and the Sarpa. It is dark and there was a rope lying on the floor, and in the cover of that darkness I mistake that rope to be a snake. Now the rope, which is not a snake, is appearing to be like a snake. It is appearing real. So my mind perceives that as right knowledge, but it is not what it is appearing. It is actually a rope. So how does mithya jnana go? Mithya jnana has to go only through the light of knowledge. When we switch on the light or shine a torch on that rope, I realize that it is actually not a snake, but it is a rope. So this is wrong knowledge. So the mind is either dwelling on right knowledge, or the activity of the mind is in wrong knowledge, which is the third category of activity of the mind, or vritti, that is vikalpa. Vikalpa is defined in the 9th shloka as shabda jnananupatit vastu shunyo vikalpaha. What do we mean by this? Shabda is sound or words which arise in our mind. The mind has two ways of understanding things. It is either through forms and shapes or through language. So whenever we want to think something, we tend to think in a particular language, and that language has some words. So whenever these words are arising in our mind, and what knowledge they give, shabda jnana, anupata, in accordance to that, vastu shunyo vikalpaha, that means in accordance to what these knowledge these words are producing in the mind, there is no object at all. That is what is called as imagination. So mind dwells with those things which are actually not present objectively. This is what is called as imagination or vikalpa. And the fourth vritti, or the category of activity of the mind, is nidra. And nidra is described in the 9th shloka as abhava pratyaya alambana vritti nidraha. Abhava pratyaya is what? Abhava is absence. Pratyaya means notion. Alambana means that which is inclined towards. Vritti is activity of the mind. So Nidra is described as that activity of the mind which is inclined towards producing a notion of non-existence in us. What happens when we sleep? We really don't recollect that period when we are asleep deeply. Only when we wake up, we realize that we had no activity of the mind happening, no perception of the world, no perception of the presence of our mind or body. And that activity of the mind which is inclined towards a perception of absence of ourselves is called as Nidra. And the fifth vritti or the kind of activities of the mind is Smriti. How is Smriti defined? Smriti is defined in the 11th shloka as Anubhuta Vishaya Sampramoshaha Smritihi. Anubhuta Vishaya means that objective world which we have experienced. Asampramoshaha is remains intact without any deletion or addition, and this is called as Smriti. Our experiences remain within us or in our brain without undergoing any modification, and we are able to recall them, and that is called as Smriti or memory. So in a human life, we have about 30,000 odd thoughts coming every day. And these thoughts ultimately fall into one among these 5 categories. Patanjali is a scientist. He, in his sutras, is teaching us the science of mind and how we can control it. That is exactly what yoga is, and hence he throws light on all the types of activities of the mind. In the next shloka onwards, we will learn what are the methods of bringing this mind or vrittis into control. Pranams to all of you.